to a man who became a little bit more thoughtful, a man who knew disappointment. And then at the end of life, a man who really was thinking about redemption, and he was thinking about meeting his creator and what had he created for his creator. And he took the job of completing St. Peter's Basilica for no money. He did it for, and I quote, the glory of God, the honor of St. Peter, the salvation of his own soul. And the other thing he did is he completed the church according to the plan of Bramante, the original architect, who, although he had been a personal enemy, Michelangelo was able to put all that aside and to see that, as he said, this was the only man who knew the truth. And finally, Michelangelo has been passed over for this job. When he was young, when he was vigorous, would have been a great thing on his CV. He had been passed over for this job, and he accepted it anyway. So there's a great deal of personal growth in this work. And Michelangelo worked on this for 19 years. And the final gift he gave to the church is the image that we see above the papal altar. So the altar that you see where the Pope celebrates Mass is directly on top of the tomb of St. Peter. Michelangelo's dome crowns that space. And even though the dome is based on the Pantheon dome, Michelangelo spent 20 years changing the look from that of the Pantheon to what we know today. The Pantheon, perfect building, but it's a perfect pagan building. And everything about the Pantheon is meant to celebrate how men become gods, because the design was by the pagan Romans who believed that. So Michelangelo's decision to recalculate the weight of the dome, to lift it high on top of a drum, and then put all those windows around the base of the dome, one of the most striking things at this time of year to go in there and see are those horizontal beams of light that come through the windows and separate the dome from the altar as if the dome floats. We remember here that man doesn't fuse heaven to earth when and where he likes. Man doesn't control things. It's the heavens that choose to hover over that spot of Peter's tomb as its perpetual custodian. And that, in many ways, the Pietà, the Sistine Chapel, the Last Judgment, the David, all those things, in many ways, this was Michelangelo's greatest gift. Because when we see the Pope celebrating Mass there, standing in the footsteps of Peter the Fisherman with this dome of heaven hovering above his head, we know why we call him Pontifex Maximus, as it's written in the front of the church here, the great bridge between heaven and earth.